you guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's video because we're going to be doing our first round of Christmas decorating. Today we're going to be in my living room. I'm going to show you guys a bunch of simple ways to make your home look super festive, but also give that high-end feel for a very affordable price. There's going to be lots of simple tips and tricks in here, and even if you're not decorating your living room, there's going to be all kinds of styling ideas for any space in your home. And any decor that I'll be using in today's video that can be linked will be linked in the description box down below if you want to check it out. Let me know in the comments below which part was your favorite, and if you have decorated for Christmas this year, do you wait till after Thanksgiving or do you do it beforehand? Let me know. And if you're new, make sure that you subscribe and you give the video a thumbs up. It really helps to support the channel and spread the video to more people that are in need of some holiday decorating ideas. So I believe that's going to be everything. Let's go ahead and get started. So if you watch my 2023 Christmas prep with me, you may remember me mentioning these prints. Now I found these on Etsy. I wanted a neutral sort of winter landscape, and I happened to find a set of 9. I'll have them linked down below for you, but I love how natural these are and the fact that I can reuse these over and over again, and it'll set the tone for the rest of the room. So sticking with the same area, we are going to start with the white cabinet below it. This is a big focal point when you walk into the room, and to complement this brass lamp, I'm going to start with a large urn. I got this from a garage sale a couple years ago, and I refinished it to make it look aged. I can also have that video linked down below for you as well because it's super easy to do and gives you a very high-end look. And in case you missed it, I did do a lot of shopping and hauls for Christmas this year, so I will have that linked down below, that whole playlist. But I found these stems at Michael's this year. They were $19.99 a stem at 40% off, and I picked up 2 of them. I love all the natural textures, and I love the variety of textures as well. There are also some magnolia leaves in there as well as some red berries, and I just feel like this is quintessential for the holidays and adds a little bit of color to this space. And then just to finish off this grouping of 3, I have this photo. I like to take photos of my dog during the different seasons, so I thought this snowy one was perfect. And that is it for this side of the cabinet, this little vignette. I like how it's mostly neutral, but it definitely has those Christmas colors in there, and it gives that classy holiday feel. And now we're going to move over to the right side and add a couple styling pieces. So first I'm starting with these tapered candle holders. I got these from Home Goods this past summer, I believe, for the fall. And if you watched my Hobby Lobby shop with me, you may recognize this nutcracker. So they were out of the finished ones at my location because they have been so popular. So I ended up picking up the craft version and staining it with some leftover gel stain that I had. I feel like this is so high-end looking. It's very similar to the Pottery Barn one that has been super popular and trendy this year. And I love the contrast that it adds with that deep sort of walnut tone. And that is how we kept a very classic, cozy feel in this corner to start off the room. Up next, over in the other corner, we are going to set up our nativity scene. This is the nativity scene that we have put up since I was a baby. I remember putting this up every single year, so it's definitely very nostalgic. So we just have this very simple brown stable, and then we have Mary, Joseph, Jesus, the angel, there's a shepherd, the wise men, and a bunch of barn animals. I love making this part of the room the focal point for a nativity scene. It's a great reminder as to why we get to celebrate this wonderful season of giving and generosity, and it just makes us remember that Jesus gave his life for us. So I love that sentiment. And then just to finish off this little area, I'm adding in a couple trees that I made with you all last year. These are similar to the threshold trees that Studio McGee made with Target last year. And I love how the tone is very similar to the stable and the characters, but it's slightly different, so it adds a little bit of contrast but also blends in with the scene. So So I love that I was able to make a focal point of this little space. Now we are moving over to the media center as well as this little section in front of our window. I have a cozy fireplace playing on the TV and some Christmas music because if you didn't guess it, we do not have a fireplace. So we have this little stand. Again, this is something that we have had since as long as I can remember, and I'm just hanging our stockings in front of the window. This is definitely going to be the most colorful part of the room, but again, these are super nostalgic. My aunt actually made these for us, and each of them have their own little characters, and they're just super cute, and this is the best place to put them, and it just adds a little bit of color and variety. Now on to the media center. I have talked about this before. I feel like I want to do something different with this media center in the future, but I haven't really had the time to figure out what I want to do and actually do it because of school and just being busy. But we are going to dress it up, and I absolutely love how this turned out. So we're going to start on the left side. I have a neutral burlap runner, and I'm using another one of my aged vases that I made. Next, I'm adding in these stems that I got from Hobby Lobby. If you can't find them there, they are quite a popular look this year. I did find some that were super similar at Target, but they were quite a bit longer. And I just love the very natural feel. It feels very gathered, as if I picked them from the backyard, and they are just very realistic. They have a slight blue tint to them, so they just look very realistic. So I'm going to use 3 of them for this vase, and as you saw, I did bend the stems a bit so that the height fit better in the vase. That way in the future, if I wanted to extend them back to their full length, I wouldn't have to worry about cutting it off. In other words, I'd be able to reuse this for many different projects. But I love the height of this arrangement. It's super simple. If you wanted a pop of red, you could obviously do that with a pop of berries or florals, but I thought this was perfect to set the tone for the rest of the console. Next to it, I'm going to place my Made for Living book that I picked up at Home Goods this year, and I tried something a little bit different. I put another book that I thrifted on top of it, and I laid it towards the top so there's a little bit of space on the Made for Living book. On the smaller book, I'm going to be putting this vanilla balsam candle from Bath & Body Works. I think the packaging on this is super cute and whimsical, and it smells amazing. And when I was digging around in my drawers, I found this brass candle snuffer, so I put that on the Made for Living book towards the front, and I just love the different material of this and how well it just complements the whole vignette. And to finish it off, I am going to light the candle. Candles are quintessential for the holiday and cozy season, and I just love the way all of the textures and colors go together. I feel like it feels very lived in and also just very intentional, and it's also very simplistic at the same time, which I really love. To the other side, I'm going to start with a frame as well as an old lantern that I thrifted. It used to be a sort of creamy white color, but I did paint it black. And this next part of the vignette is one of my favorite parts of this whole entire living room, and something that you could use in so many different parts of your home: the bathroom, kitchen, as part of a tablescape or centerpiece. I'm starting with these beautiful acorns that I picked up from TJMaxx this year. They're made of sandstone and wood, and I love the differing textures. I have some red berries, some pine cones that I actually got from the backyard, as well as some of those greenery pieces. And altogether, this is going to create a beautiful styled bowl. And if you didn't pick up on it, I feel like I really love the natural Christmas feel. I like to incorporate those holiday colors, but in a very natural way, as you would see them occur in nature. So I'm starting with my greenery pieces as a base in this wood bowl that I picked up from Facebook Marketplace a couple years ago. I'm adding in a little bit of color with my red berry stems, and I'm sort of evenly distributing them in the bowl, leaving some room in the middle for these acorns. These are super whimsical, but they feel so rustic and classic and high-end at the same time because of the material. I love the contrast that this has against the greenery and the dark bowl, and it's just a fun element that you don't see very often. And then to finish it off, I'm filling in the gaps with some of these pine cones. Of course, if you don't have any of these in your yard or anything like that, they do sell these online as well as in different craft stores. They're a lot more easily accessible than you may think, but I love how this adds a pop of color and how intentional yet effortless this whole arrangement is. And like I said, you could apply these principles to anywhere in your home, from the dining room to the bedroom bedroom to bathroom styling, but I feel like this is perfect for the holidays. Up next, we are going to style up this side of the living room. We have our couch and ottoman, as well as these floating shelves. Now, these floating shelves were stained with the same stain I used on the Nutcracker, and is also very similar to the dough bowl we just styled. So I'm starting with this thrifted frame that I got from Goodwill, and a very simple print of trees that I painted. If you have a fan brush, this is super easy to make. It's very whimsical and natural and just brings in that pop of dark green for the holidays. Now I'm adding in this threshold candle from last year. This scent is actually still available. It's called Fireside Glow, and I absolutely love it. Now I'm going to be adding in this lantern. I was originally going to paint this black, but I really love the pop of red that it adds to this side of the room. And as you can see, I filled that with pine cones and berries, and I felt like it was missing something, so I just took one of my thrifted books, put the spine of the book towards the wall, and leaned it up against that lantern. So we're going to go super simple on that first one. And now for the upper shelf, we are going to be putting together our Christmas village. Now, if you've been following along, you know that I haven't ever had a Christmas village set up in my living room or anywhere in my home, so I was super happy and excited to put this together. I will link this set of houses down below. They are the Wondershop brand from Target, and I got them for a super great deal. I started with a book in the middle and put a couple of the houses on top, put the other two on either side, and then dispersed the mini bottle brush trees that also came with the set. And altogether, I love how simplistic and festive these are. Really brings in that slight pop of color and complements the rest of the room. And now to finish off this side, we are going to add in some pillows. So I did want that pop of red to coordinate with the rest of the room with the berries, as well as the lantern that we put on the shelf. So I started with a big square red pillow and then layered in a chunky knit pillow. I got these from Target as well. They are from last year, but I'm sure you can get something very similar this year. And then to the other side, I'm adding another chunky knit pillow and then a brown plaid lumbar pillow, just to give that very moody but cozy feel. I feel like it really grounds the space and it gives it a little bit of depth. It gives it a little bit of variation. And now that we have our whole couch put together, it coordinates with the rest of the room. Nothing is too distracting. Everything is just nice and harmonious. This next section of the room is what I like to call the reading nook. There's just a recliner with an end table next to the other end of that window. And we're just going to style this up very similarly to how I do it for the fall and the other seasons. I'm going to add in this burgundy and cream striped lumbar pillow. I love the contrast against the brown fabric on the chair, and of course that pop of red. And I always have this basket on the bottom part of this end table, and then I will switch out Magnolia journals or other magazines that have that sort of color scheme for the season. And then to the top, I'm just going to stack a couple books because I want to put together an arrangement and give it a little bit of height. This time I'm going to be using a pitcher that's a very classic white ceramic. And then I had an assortment of florals left over. Most of these came from Hobby Lobby. The beige flowers as well as the greenery are both available this year. And then I just had a few of those red berry stems left over. Again, I love how this just carries the theme from the rest of the room to this little area. I love all the different textures and shapes of all the different floral stems. I feel like they just work together so well. And then I am just layering my parents' wedding photo in a black and white style to keep it neutral, and then adding in a marble coaster for practicality and also just to finish off that little vignette. Again, super subtle with color, but brings in those woodsy natural tones for the Christmas season, and it's just very cozy and inviting. The last section of the living room is going to be right next to that media console. I kept this area super simple because that brown recliner is actually going to be moved to where that rocker is, and the rocker is going to be put away for the holiday season. And in that corner where that brown chair is now is where our Christmas tree is going to go in a couple weeks, and I'm super excited to share that with you. So to the end table between the two chairs, I'm just adding in an old book as well as an adorable snow globe that just adds a little bit of color, adding in another one of those marble coasters as well as the burgundy striped pillow. And while this rocker is out, I'm going to add this vintage bear. If you watch my prep video, you know that this is super nostalgic for us. My grandparents would bring out these bears every single year for the holidays, and recently they gave each family a bear. And I happen to love the vintage feel of this, and I feel like it's just perfect to finish off this area. And I added in quite a bit of red because I know the tree is going to bring that beautiful rich green. And overall, this is how the whole space turned out. I love all of the brown tones, all of the greenery, as well as the pops of red. I love the different textures, and most of all, the simplicity of this whole space. It feels very high-end and casual, but also intentional and cozy at the same time. I cannot wait to bring in our Christmas tree that we'll be picking up here soon and decorating it to go with the rest of the room. That video should be coming out in a couple weeks, so make sure that you're subscribed, and let me know in the comments which part was your favorite and if there's anything that you want to do from this video in your decorating this year. Alright you guys, that is going to wrap up today's Christmas decorating video part 1 in my living room. I hope you guys got a bunch of styling ideas, not only for your living room, but ideas for decorating your whole entire home and making it festive for the holidays. Got some high-end ideas that aren't going to cost a lot of money, going to be very affordable and simple. If you like the video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below which part was your favorite, maybe some things that you want to incorporate into your own home this year. And make sure that you subscribe for more Christmas content on the way. Lots of home decor, DIY, and decorating videos on my channel, so I would definitely love to have you. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday season. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, you guys.